Alright, so I finished up the foundation row for my Entrelac. I now have 4 little triangles at 5 stitches each. View from the back. That's what you should see. Now, if you have extra stitches at this point, there's a couple possibilities. You either cast it on too many, happens, or you built one of the triangles a stitch too soon. In this case, just undo it, try it again. It's quite alright. Mistakes happen. It's just knitting. So now we're going to start our first row of squares and triangles with one of our side triangles. And basically this is what makes Entrelac. I am going to be creating a new shape on top of an old shape while basically incorporating the old shape into the new shape. Basically that's how you make the woven look. Because basically you weren't creating any extra stitches because this triangle I'm going to create is going to be incorporated into this first triangle. So you'll see how that works. So you're going to start out by increasing the first stitch. I prefer a knit front to back. You can increase however you want. This is easiest for me. And then just like we did before, I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to knit and knit. Alright, and flip it around again. And here's where we're going to start using the decreases. I'm going to, again, knit front to back, doing an increase, because I'm still creating this triangle. And this is where I'm going to attach the new triangle to the old triangle. See this stitch here? This is the last stitch of the new triangle. I'm going to use a decreasing stitch to attach this to the old triangle. And to do this, I'm going to use a slip knit. Of course, you can use any decrease stitch. This is what I prefer for this. I think it has the cleanest line for this particular application. And there you go. Now I have 3 stitches. So I'm going to flip her over and purl 3. Now when I turn this around, again I'm going to make an increase, knit front to back, and now I have another stitch on the new triangle. So I'm just going to knit that bad boy, and then once again I'm at the end of the new triangle, and I still have 3 stitches left on the old triangle. So again I'm going to do a decrease to attach together, slip knit, and turn it over. Now of course I'm doing this in stockinette. You can do this however you want. You can do it in seed stitch, garter stitch, whatever you want. It's your project. I like stockinette. So I think the V looks so pretty in Entrelac. So again, increase by 1. Knit 2, and then slip, and knit. Turn over. Now, this is the last row with this first triangle. You do not need to increase this because you already have all of your stitches. So you are going to knit 4, then slip, slip, and knit, get in there. And there you have it. You have your first triangle in your first tier, and you can see how it kind of works together. You can kind of get a hint of what the woven look is going to look like. But now we are at our first square, and this is where we're going to use a pickup stitch. Now, on this video, I do have a blog linked to this. I wrote up the instructions on how I did this, so hopefully you can follow along with that at the same time you're watching this, and hopefully Entrelac will make some sense to you. In the blog post, I linked to a Knitty news page about how to cast, or not how to cast on, how to pick up stitches. This is how I prefer to do it. There's many ways of doing this. This is how I like it. It's clean, it's easy, it's pretty much identical to doing something in crochet too. So if that's something you're familiar with, it'll be very easy to you. In fact, you can even do this with a crochet hook. Again, totally up to you. I am very happy that I finally matched it with a knitting needle, so I don't have to put down my needle to pick up a hook. So what I'm going to do, because I'm creating a square with 5 stitches, I'm going to pick up 5 stitches. So what I'm going to do is stick my yarn in and pull it out. See, loop 1. Stick my yarn in, 2, or stick my needle in rather, derp to derp, 3, ay, 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 4, and 5. Okie dokie, come on there. Alright, so now I have 5 stitches for my square. And because of this method of picking up stitches, pretty much this counts for the first row of knitted work. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to purl these 5 stitches. And now, because this is not a triangle, it's a square, I'm not going to do any increasing. I'm just going to knit across, but I am going to use the decrease stitches, as I will in every element of this, to attach the square I'm creating to the element that's basically below it. So this is a foundation triangle that we created, and that is the square that we're going to create. So just like with this, we're going to merge them together. So by doing this, we are going to knit 4, and this will look familiar, last stitch on the square, and you got the first stitch on the older element. So again, you're going to slip and slip and then knit. As I said before, you can use any decrease you want. In this application, make sure it's left leaning, because it'll look awkward otherwise. And I prefer slip slip stitch. For me, I can make it look cleaner than I can a slip knit slip. So we're going to turn around and purl back, and you see how fast this is really working up. It's a combination of just the nature of the beast. Also, I'm only using 5 stitches. You start using more stitches, like if you want to make each element 10 stitches or 20 stitches, that's going to be a lot more knitting. I chose 5 just for this purpose, so we could go through this quickly. So okay, now we're back to the right side, so we're going to knit 4 again, and we're back to slip, slip, and knit. And you can start seeing that square starting to form. You really will start seeing that entrelac look once you get to the second tier of all squares. You'll really start to get that woven pattern. And when you first start out doing this, the first couple of tiers of squares and triangles, it's not going to sit right. You are not doing anything wrong. It's just the nature of the beast. You get a couple in and the work will start laying correctly. So again, knit 4, slip, slip, and knit, turn over, and just like I did with foundation rows, I'm only going to do this one square for you. As if you need to see it again, you can always rewind and look at it again. And basically you're going to repeat this until all the stitches are worked. And then you're going to do the other triangle for this particular tier. See, almost done. And you can see where we're going with this. You can see that it's really starting to get that look. So, knit, 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 slip, slip, and knit. Now, you do not need to turn this and purl the other direction, because this is basically set you up to pick up 5 more stitches here. And if you're wondering where I was knowing where to pick up the stitches from, if you turn around and you see basically these stitches here, how they stick up, I've been picking up the stitches in between those. And it's easier to see on the purl side, which the second tier is actually done purl wise, so that'll be easier, but you can still get an idea of where to do it on the knit side, because you can still see those stitches there where they stick up, and you just stick right there in the center, and there you go. So again, 5, and then you just repeat the square like I just did all the way to the end, so there are no stitches left on this left needle. And then I will show you how to do the left side triangle. And there you go.